live. Hello, everyone. I apologize. I am running a little bit late today, but I hope everyone is having a wonderful week. If you don't know who I am, I go by Coach Kayla. My name is Kayla Slater. I'm a registered dietitian focused on plant-based nutrition, specifically sports nutrition. Love talking about love talking about plant-based nutrition. And I have been vegan for I say plant-based is not entirely specifically vegan, but plant-based for the last 5 years, at least 5 to 6 years, I've been plant-based myself. So love talking about plant-based nutrition. Definitely one of my passions. And today I wanted to come here and talk to you guys for my monthly talk about Earth Day nutrition and sustainability. So we're going to get into when it comes to sustainability, what can we do when it comes to our food choices, and how can we be more conscious about the environment, and what can we do. So I want to give you guys some tips on that. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Before we get started, I do just want to mention as well that you can go to Virtual Veg Fest website and take the quiz and get some awesome prizes there. And also thank you to our sponsor, Rebel Cheese. So Rebel Cheese is a sponsor this month for Virtual Veg Fest, which allows me to do this, which is awesome. And thank you so much for Veg Fest for allowing me to have this opportunity every month to talk to you guys. So let's get into it. So Earth Day is coming up. We're in April. So when we talk about Earth Day, right, we're talking about all these things that we can do to improve our environment, or things that we can do to be kind to our environment and to our planet Earth that we live on, right? So I want to kind of really just dive deep into sustainability as that relates to nutrition. So what is sustainability? Does anyone know what sustainability is or how you can define it? If you guys are on too, just, you're welcome to comment below, say hi. I love to see that you're on live with me. And also if you watch this on replay, just go below, say replay as well. That would be awesome. So what is sustainability? It's the broadest possible sense. Sustainability refers to the ability of something to maintain or sustain itself over time. And there's actually 3 principles of sustainability: the economy, society, and the environment. So we're going to really focus, I think, more on that environmental piece. Now, mind you, I am a dietitian, not necessarily somebody that has studied environmentalism and kind of all this stuff, but certainly there's a role that food certainly plays, right, in our agricultural worlds and the sustainability. So what can we do? What are things, that you think of? Comment below if you're live. Are there anything that comes to mind when it comes to, how we can be more sustainable when it comes to the food and what we eat? Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining. Welcome. So one thing is shopping local at farmers market. Does anybody do that? Does anyone try to shop local or go to your farmers market? One, you're supporting your local economy. You're, supporting that. So I guess that goes into economy. But also you can buy your produce without any packaging. And this is the biggest thing, right? The biggest thing that really harms our environment is anything that goes into the landfill. So I encourage you guys, and I think, we won't do this yet, but at the end, I'm going to give you guys a challenge around this. And this has actually been something that we've been doing in my family, in my household, and it's been actually really interesting. So I'm going to challenge you guys here. But when you go to the farmers market, right, you bring your bags and they're not packaged. The biggest thing is that packaging when we buy our foods it's usually in plastic packaging, and plastic is not good for our environment. It's mostly thrown in the environment. So going to the farmers market is a really good something you can do. Another thing as well is if you do buy food in containers, making sure that you are able to recycle it. Now, I know there's different recycling kind of laws, restrictions, and kind of what you have, depending on where you live. but I believe most places now are most recycle friendly. My local town that I live in actually um, does have a recycling program. So we now know like certain numbers. We look on the back of our packaging to see if it can be recycled or not. So that's really cool. If anyone has a Trader Joe's, I've noticed actually a lot of Trader Joe's packaging it is recyclable. So that's really cool. Even though some of the meals that they have, that come in the plastic containers, those are at least recyclable in my local town. So that's pretty cool. Um, so that's one thing. Another thing to do too is I think every state is different. I don't think this is a federal law yet. Because I know I lived in Florida and we still use plastic baggies when we went shopping at the grocery store. But in New York, we have no grocery bags, which I think is amazing because these grocery bags have been getting into the landfills and it's not good for our environment. It's not good for animals, right? None of that. It's just, they're just not good for our environment. So bringing those reusable bags, leave them in your car, make sure to get those reusable bags and bring them. Another thing you can do too, instead of using those plastic baggies when you go shopping at the store to get your produce, another thing you can do is also get these, you can go to Amazon. Actually, my mom got these and they're like kind of netted bags and she puts all of her produce in there instead of using those plastic baggies. So that's another tip as well. Another thing too is, does anyone use those plastic baggies, like those sandwich baggies to put your snacks in when you like pack lunches? Those are the same thing, right, as these plastic grocery bags that are getting in our landfills. They're just not great. So you can actually get reusable bags. Again, Amazon has great reusable bags that you can use. So try that out. That's something else we could do as well. Another thing too, which I think relates very much to this group, is to go plant-based. Going plant-based is really good, really helpful for the environment. And I believe a lot of people that are plant-based do care about the environment because if anybody has gone to, like, I think the first time I kind of learned more about this was actually not in my schooling. It was going to going to a veg fest. Like this community, going to an actual veg fest and listening to speakers. And I remember them telling me that we use more resources to produce meat to feed those animals than it would be to directly feed us. And I'm like, that makes no sense at all, right? We're using more water, more food, more resources to feed animals when really the nutrition that we're getting out of that is actually we're getting it indirectly because cows eat grass. So why can't we just eat the plants, right? So it just makes more sense, and it's certainly a better sustainable way because we're using less resources if we aren't producing as much meat. So I know right now too, there's a big push for that, a big push for plant-based for environmental reasons because we produce less resources. Another thing, my last tip here as well, is to plant a tree. Planting a tree or growing a garden, that's always something too that we can help to help towards this sustainable ability as well. And growing a garden can also be really helpful to have food available, to eat more fruits and veggies, on that nutrition side of it, as well as a sustainability way, because we don't know what's going to come at us in this world. We've seen, through COVID, it's been kind of crazy. And luckily, we still have abundance of food in the United States, but we don't know if it's always going to be like that. And it is important that we do learn how to build a garden, to grow our own food, if we have the means to do that. But there's certainly lots of resources out there to do that now. So I encourage everybody to do that as well. And then lastly, I said I was going to give you guys a challenge. What I like to give you a challenge for Earth Day is in this month, and maybe try to do this for this month, through April, try to do this. I challenge you guys to reduce your waste. So, one more thing that I didn't add to this list was compost. Another thing to keep waste out of your landfills is to compost. If you do truly eat plant-based, meaning you're trying to really eat more whole foods, then most likely most of your waste and garbage, and if you're really conscious about packages and stuff that you're buying, then most likely most of your garbage that's going in the landfill is actually can be compost. And compost is really easy to do. You can put scraps and stuff, just keep it separate from your garbage. If you do have land or an area or somewhere outside, just mix soil and sticks and stuff like that. And that can also be great soil to put and use for a garden. So I encourage you to compost. But back to my challenge that I want you guys to do is I want everybody to try to reduce their waste. And one way we can do this is by composting, reducing the amount of packaging that we buy, or making sure our packages that we do buy are recyclable. And that should really help to start reducing the waste that you have. And maybe even make a goal. Right now, say for example, you're using about 4 bags of garbage a week. Okay, let's try to get that to 3 bags, right? Make yourself a goal based on where you're at. And this is exactly what I do with clients, right? When I work on their health and fitness goals or the running goals or the nutrition goals, is we do the same thing, right? We start where you are and we make a goal to just try to make, that one change we want to make, just go one step. So if you're using 4 bags of garbage, try 3. Then maybe the week after, if you're like, oh, this is easy, I can do this, try 2 bags, right? And then before you know it, you may even have 1 garbage bag of waste a week. So I want you guys to try that. That is my challenge for you for Earth Day. And I hope you take away some of these tips as well. And I'll review these real quick before I hop off here, just to summarize everything that we just talked about as well. So tip number 1 was to use plastic or shop local at the farmer's market. Number 2 was use instead of plastic baggies, like those plastic sandwich baggies, use reusable bags, as well as those plastic grocery bags. Use reusable grocery bags. Buy food in recyclable, or buy food that you can put in bags and bring your own bags, or not in packages at all, or in recyclable packages. Number 4 was eat plant-based, because we know we use less resources when we're eating more, to produce plant-based foods is a lot less resources than it is to produce animal products. And let's see, number 5 was plant a tree or grow a garden. And number 6, I got 6. Yeah, number 6 was compost. Let's see. And Susan mentioned a couple things. Just cut out the middle animal. Yes, absolutely. That's a good way to put it, right? We can just cut out that middle animal. Using compostable garbage bags can really help too. Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. I've never even tried that, even knew that existed. But yeah, that's also a great idea. Garbage bags, again, anything made with plastic is just, right, we just know it's not great for our environment. Something I've been actually trying to do too in my local area is when I go for runs or go for walks, I try to bring a garbage bag with me and pick up the litter and the garbage that's around, because it's just awful. And I know, I don't want an animal to get caught in it or eat it, and whatever that could be. So it's certainly not good. It's certainly not good to get into our water streams, things like that. So that's another thing too. There is a term for that, actually. I believe it's called flogging. If anybody's interested in that, you can totally look it up. It's like running and picking up litter, which is fantastic. But anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this, and take some of these tips and, pick one thing and try to use it. And your number 1 challenge for this month is to reduce that waste, reduce that garbage that you have, by trying to compost, being more conscious of packaging of your food and those sort of things. And of course, if you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can reach out to me and my email. I think down below here, the scrolling, I have my IG as well, Plant-Based Performance RD. And you can email me as well at kaylaslaterrd@gmail.com if you guys have any questions, or reach out to me on Facebook as well. So thank you guys. I will see you guys next month. I hope you have a wonderful month, and see you then. Bye.